In this video, I'll go over how to use a line drawing that was created in a computer-generated software such as Chief Architect or SketchUp to create kind of a personal perspective drawing in two-point perspective. Moving from a one-point perspective to a two-point perspective, instead of looking straight on the viewer to a single wall, the viewer is looking more into a corner. When you look as a viewer into the corner, you get to see two walls more clearly. So on the left, we have a wall with our headboard of our bed. Above the bed, there's some type of art above the bed, two nightstands, an ottoman, a rug, and then on the other wall, a sliding glass door. Step one of the exercise is to find the vanishing points. So you can place a piece of tracing paper over your drawing at this point, or you can draw right on top of your frame drawing and then put a piece of tracing paper over it to create your clean line drawing. For the purpose of this exercise and so that you can see everything a little bit better on the screen, I'm going to go ahead and just draw right on top of the frame drawing with that big paper mate flare so you can see what I'm doing. Step one is to find the vanishing points. Now, for your exercise, I did put a dot on the left and the right to indicate where those vanishing points are. But if those weren't there, remember that you have to find the vanishing point, not just place it. And the quickest way to find the vanishing point is at the opposite wall that the vanishing point is on. Follow the ceiling plane down, and then follow the floor plane, the base and the top of the ceiling. Follow those over to where they reach the vanishing point. So on the left, our left vanishing point, you can see that our ceiling, from the top of the ceiling, comes down and hits that vanishing point, as does our floor, as does all of, if I put a pin right here and took my straight edge, as does all of the planks on the floor. We did the opposite for the right vanishing point, where we follow the ceiling plane all the way down and it merges just almost to off the page. And then you can follow things like the line of the ottoman, the line of the rug, the top of the bed, the art, and they're all going to merge to the vanishing point on the right. And together, these two vanishing points should fall on a horizontal line called the horizon line. Step two is to enhance this drawing by creating some type of pattern on the ottoman. So right now we have just a plain ottoman, and maybe you want to put some stripes or some checkerboard on your ottoman. So what I did is you can either eyeball squares as they go along in perspective, from a little bit larger to a little bit smaller as they go along in perspective, or you can just do the first cube in the corner, place an X from corner to corner of your square, and then from the center of that, go to the vanishing point, either to the left or to the right, through the X. And to find all those perfect lines and perspectives, the vertical lines, you go from the upper left-hand corner, kind of that top of your X, through that point that you went to the vanishing point, and you come down on an angle. You go right through and then up. Go right through and then up. Through and then up. And so you really get these nice equal spacings. So step one, maybe you want to make just your ottoman one big solid ottoman, is to create some type of pattern on there. So I can take every two squares, or I can go to every square. I'm just going to go like this for now. And every point where they hit the top, On the left side, go to the right vanishing point, and then on this side, go to the left. So from the top of my ottoman to my vanishing point, from here to my vanishing point, from there to my vanishing point. And you can just see how quickly I can put some type of texture on my ottoman. And then I can do the opposite over here. You know, and maybe you don't want that many squares on your ottoman, and maybe you just want to make it a texture, but now you have a grid on your ottoman. And that's the first thing I ask you to do. And again, it's just for practice. Step 1, vanishing point. Step 2, putting some pattern on that ottoman. Step 3 is to create some type of kind of interesting turn down on the foot of your bed. So right now we have, if you see, I'll just kind of do it lightly. This is the corner of the bed. Here we have the corner of the bed. So now you can see the top of the bedspread and then the side of the bedspread. So all I want you to do is put some type of turn down at the foot of this bed. Something like that. And now I just need to know where it returns. So if the top of the sheet goes to the right vanishing point, the top of the headboard goes to the right vanishing point, the base of the bed goes to the right vanishing point, then so does this line. And I need a little bit longer of a triangle. Right, and there I go. So now you can see I'm just going to do this, and then maybe just put some to the vanishing point. Maybe you see it peaks up a little bit as it folds and gets a bit thicker. And so now you should see that I have a nice blanket or something at the foot of my bed. Step number 4 is really just to change the look of these nightstands. And I'm just going to make it quite simple. I'm going to keep the shelf at the bottom, and I'm just going to make, instead of 2 drawers, maybe I'll make it a smaller single drawer and put something at the base. So you really could just trace over this, and just know that we're just kind of missing just a little bit of that shelf back there. So go ahead and trace over that. You could put a plant down here, some books or something. You know, from this vanishing point over here. Maybe I'll just make the drawer a little smaller. Just change it up, just make it your own. Okay, maybe instead of, it's just gonna have some very elegant tapered legs. It's an underdrawing to do a quick sketch. So now I have a shelf, I have a very elegant table. This returns to the vanishing point up here. This is right over the vanishing point, and so that's why that has kind of a little funky angle. So now I hope you can see that I have a shelf, I have some legs, and I have a new drawer right here. So just something a little different. So just go online, find a nightstand that you like and use this under drawing. Maybe you want to put 3 drawers in there. It doesn't really matter to me. But step 4, I ask you to do something with the nightstand and make it look a little different. The next one will take a little bit of time, but we're going to add a soffit. And we're going to add a soffit to the ceiling. So just bear with me with this light pencil. So here's the wall, and then here's the flat part of the ceiling, right? Flat part of the ceiling, flat part of the ceiling. So now what I want to do is I want there to be a flat part of the ceiling, right? But then I want the ceiling to go up again, and then there's going to be another flat part of the ceiling. So hopefully this kind of quickly shows you what I'm going to do. So there's a flat part of the ceiling. Draw a vertical line in from, you can eyeball it, or you can, I think in the instructions I go through it a little more in detail. And so until you play around with this a little bit, maybe it's hard to visualize. And that's okay. So I just want you to know that usually the first time that people play around with soffits, it's a little hard to visualize what's going on, and until all of a sudden it's like, aha, there it is. So again, let me just put, this is flat. This is flat. And this is where the ceiling pops up. And the line should be a little over from this line. So it shouldn't be perfectly aligned. It should be over a bit. Next is to add draperies. So of course draperies need to be hung to something. So you can imagine there might be a little groove in the soffit that your draperies can hang from, or you can draw a rod. So let's just draw a rod from the left vanishing point. A rod should have some thickness, right? So whether that's, you know, there you go. There's a rod. And to start draperies, remember that if they open up, right? They open up so that there's no bright light coming into the hotel. When they're open, they have to stack to the left and to the right. So go ahead and draw some vertical lines. And this will indicate there's some draperies, maybe they're in a grommet or there's a ring or something like that, and all of a sudden, pow, you have draperies. Maybe they're cut off on this side and you just see a bit of a kind of a hint of draperies over here. Step number 7, I would like you to practice splitting up this long rectangular piece of art into equal quadrants. So to do that, first the lamp is covering, right, the bottom of that piece of art or mirror. So I just drew that line down and extended that over from the right vanishing point. So the first thing to do is put a big X from corner to corner on this piece of art. Corner to corner. Draw a vertical line. And where there's a vertical line, that's the center. So now I've just broken up that big piece of art into 2 pieces. And if I want to break it up into 4, I'm going to go through the right vanishing point, through the center, through that center of the X from to the right vanishing point, and now it's broken up into 1, 2, 3, 4 equal pieces. To break that up even further, go ahead in one of the boxes on each side, go ahead and put an X from corner to corner. I'll do it on both. It could be on the top or the bottom, it doesn't matter. And then you'll draw a vertical line through that. And now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and you will have 5, 6. And if you attended class the other day, I was reminding you that the X's, right, nice vertical lines. I'm getting a bit askew, I can see. If you want a straight edge, you can have a straight edge, and that would help you get some nice straight vertical lines. The point of the X's is not to leave the X's on your final drawings. The X's are just to find midpoints. So once you've found, now we have we have all these nice little squares. I'm just going to do a checkerboard pattern for you. All right, so now that you've broken them up, you can throw whatever design you want in there. But the point really isn't just to keep all the X's, but just to show you how to evenly space those out. And maybe you have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of art or something like that. Just do something different, but use the process of dissecting that rectangle to make these nice equal pieces in perspective, and then do what you want with those. You're either going to raise the headboard a bit higher, or you're going to add a row of back pillows. So here's my back, here's my back pillow. Go to the right vanishing point. And maybe now you have 3 Euro shams back here. Now you have 2 standard shams, right? So here's my Euro shams in the back. Hopefully you see them. So now I have 3 pillows in the back. You can put another pillow in the front. I have a turn down, I have 2 shams. All of a sudden this is looking more romantic and more lively. So you're going to add some details. You might want to change the flooring. You might want to change, the style of the bed or the foot of the bed. You might want to change the style of the lamp. Make it a tripod or make it a rounded shade. So that's up to you, details. But I do want you to put like a little suggestion of something out the window. So first of all, from the left vanishing point, just draw a little line that represents that there's a deck, that continues outside. So I'm just gonna draw some lines in. So maybe there's wood decking outside. So there's the floor. And then maybe we want a bit of a rail. So if we have a high-rise hotel room, maybe we want some type of rail outside, railing, to indicate that there's some ocean or something out there, and maybe this is a glass or something like that. The hint of some clouds. But don't go too specific, because remember, we're interior designers. We want the focus to be in the interior of the room. You can change the detail of the feet on the ottoman if you would like. You can change maybe the rug to something shag-like, or put a design on it. change the floor to tile, you know, whatever you choose at this point. But all of a sudden, this quick underdrawing should come to life. Now, students did have a couple questions about how did I know where to center a chandelier. So just for the ease of time, I'm just going to draw a circle. But how did I know where that was to be right above the bed? Well, we can assume that this large piece of art is centered over the bed. So what we would want to do is we would want to take a center line, you know, all the way up to the ceiling, and from the left vanishing point, we're going to want to pull that out. No, it's actually a little higher since I bumped it up, but so now this is this line indicates the center of the wall, so like centered on the bed, and basically then we've just pulled that chandelier out from the wall. And how we know where that falls over the bed is quite similar to how we looked at this up here. I found the center of the bed by placing an X on the bed, finding the center of the bed, and just going straight up. And where those 2 points meet, that's centered on the bed and centered on the wall. So we'll practice that more throughout the semester, but that is, I did a quick tutorial for those of you who want to listen to the live stream that we did the other day. I did talk a bit more about how to detail the nightstand, how to really find that point on the ceiling, and how to add the floor and the rails out the window. I hope you enjoyed the video and that you next put a piece of tracing paper over this drawing and create a finished drawing. Good luck, and I look forward to seeing your drawings.